Okay, we're holding over here in the world of Bechira, free will, and we're trying to define where exactly does a person exercise their free will in reality. So he says, and we mentioned last time, if the test that is being given to you is way beneath your pay grade, so then the fact that you overcame the battle or the minuscule struggle that was there, you're not such a hero as a result of it, because we would expect nothing less from you. So too, if the test is way beyond where you're holding, and it's pretty much impossible that someone on your level will be able to overcome such a thing, and you failed the test, so we're not going to call you a failure or call you, a loser, because what could we have expected of you? The guy who can only bench press 100 pounds, we don't expect him to bench press 200 pounds. He's not a failure because he couldn't do 200 pounds. He simply doesn't have the ability to do 200 pounds right now. But if you're a guy that benches 200 pounds and you bench 50 pounds, so we don't say, wow, you're incredible. I mean, what else do we expect of you? We expect you to do 200 pounds. That's nothing. He says like this, Shayded v'chayif, misbayded be'izkar shalai kashehu oimel lebetza es hashoyd haba mul kibenu chasa hayesha. So the thug who's there in the street, and he's coming to mug somebody in the middle of the night, the challenge that he deals with is only when he gets to the next defenseless victim that he's going to see. Ha'oived b'misrad, someone who works in an office, mizmaided, he's tested, mo piti shel shimush b'tziyud misradei, oisichas telephone al cheshbon ha'ma'avid. So too, what is his challenge? His challenge is, should he take the stationery? Should he use the pen? Should he take the paper clips? Should he be on the phone talking in the middle of work when he's getting paid by the boss to be working, and he's on the phone schmoozing away with other people? That's the challenge that this man has in his office. Adam mafutach mibechina ruchanis mizmodedim apitui l'shanos mina emes b'ma'at. And so to someone that's on a higher level of spirituality, and he's striving for spiritual greatness, his challenge is going to be when he is confronted with changing the emes, changing the truth ever so slightly to get what it is that he wants. So he is struggling in that area. So the employee struggles in their area, which means everybody takes stationery, everybody takes pens. I just learned the other day in a class that I went to that if you take the pen from work for your own personal business, so you're really, according to the letter of the law, you're really a thief. You're a thief. I remember years and years ago, there was a study that they did where they asked employees, if employees are the ones who work, they asked employees if they ever took anything from the office. Like, you take the pen, you take the paper, you take the paper clips, you take a stapler, you take anything. So I believe that out of the people that were interviewed, it was some staggering number, like 60 or 70% of the people said, yeah, of course we take stuff from the office. That's only the 60% that was willing to admit. But what did the other 30% didn't admit? Now, according to the letter of the law, I don't know if it works like that in secular law, maybe it's like expected, but in Jewish law, if you take even a penny from somebody else, you just stole from them. So if I take things out of business, or I'm working on the clock, so my boss is going to do my job. So if I'm surfing the web, or I'm looking at my TikTok videos, or I'm schmoozing, so that I'm stealing from the business. I mentioned I went to a store, kosher store, and I walk into the store, and the lady's talking to me before I walk into the store. It's like, how weird. I didn't even make eye contact. I didn't even see her yet. She's talking to me already? So I said, yes. And then I start talking to her. She's not even talking to me. But what is going on over here? And I see that she has her phone set up like this, and she is talking to her boyfriend on the phone while she's working. She's FaceTiming the guy. She's having a conversation with him. So I'm standing there in front of her. I'm the customer. The boyfriend is there on the phone. He's on FaceTime. And she's not even doing her job. That's Geneva. That's stealing. You're being hired to work in the place that you're working at. You're not being hired to have FaceTime conversations with your boyfriend that you're going to break up with tomorrow anyway. So therefore, says Rabbi Tatz, every person based on the situation that they're in, that will be the challenge that they find themselves involved with. Yes?
You have to know what that person believes the definition of stealing.
Yeah, you're right, of course. They have a very loose definition of stealing.
When I used to work, they were stealing narcotics. So they came and they said, we want to give you a lie detector test. Nobody wanted to take the lie detector test. I said, I'll take it. I'm not stealing anything, so who cares? It shows that I'm stealing. What the hell am I stealing? In the employees' access to medication, they were aspirin and things like that. The employees could take it. I took aspirin when I had a headache, and in my mind, that was stealing, even though legally speaking, it's not stealing because that was there for that purpose.
They were authorized to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, that was part of the benefits by working there, that you could use some of the
Part of that are benefits.
Yeah.
But to me, inside the stupid mind,
You thought
I
you were
was
stealing.
stealing, which
Yeah.
I was not. But that shows you how things are.
Yes.
Things are not that simple.
Very good. Very good example.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
But then you could be at work, and all of a sudden, something pops in your head. Oh, my wife told me to pick up a couple of things, middle of work, and I'll say, oh my God, I better write it down before I forget. So now you stole ink, and you stole a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Where does that,
But so again,
I mean, where does that come from? Like,
you'll have to know where the boss is what's called moichel, where they are forgiving of normal life. Meaning, if you take a second out to write something down, okay, so maybe in the boss's mind that's understandable and the like. Maybe the boss doesn't care if people take pens. He
I'm not
buys
saying a pen, I'm
no,
saying
but I'm saying
a couple of seconds,
maybe the boss, when he buys 100 pens in bulk, he plans in his mind that people are going to be taking them. So therefore, when he puts them in the office, he already is, in effect, being mafka them. He's already making them ownerless. They're not his pens anymore because he knows that the workers are going to take them. And therefore, if the worker comes home with a pen from the office, they don't have to worry. Maybe. But maybe the boss says, look, it's the pen and the paper that I'm paying for. People should be using it for the office and for business and the like. And if they're using it and they're taking it home, they're using it for their own personal business to write their checks at the end of the month and to write their shopping list, that would be stealing.
But as I said, when you work in a huge place, like I used to work in a huge place, it depends upon what your definition is in your mind.
Right, but again, I'm saying that according to the Torah law, okay, if we go according to the Torah law, that means if I steal even the smallest little thing that I'm not entitled to take, that's already stealing. Again, I'm not saying that everybody's living in that reality, in that world, but that's something to keep in mind. Now, but he writes like this. That's not even the real discussion. The real discussion is the following. Kolecha nivchan berama shaloi. Every person is tested on their level. Every person in life is going to be tested on their level and their position where they are. Ein kol mashmus le'shava bein anashim mul sulam absoluti. And therefore you cannot compare people with each other in absolute relativity. Al kol echad mutar lizgaber al atzmai beramasayhu. Every single person is obligated to be mizgaber, to strength, to overcome their challenge that's on their own personal level. I cannot compare myself to somebody else, what their challenges in life are. I can only compare myself to what my challenges in life are. Who can even make such a statement? Well, the challenges that person is going through is so much more difficult than the one that person is going through. You see two people, and they're both living their lives, and one of them seems to be going through massive challenges in life, and the other one doesn't look like it's so crazy. So you say, well, this person obviously must be much stronger and much more powerful. They're having much bigger challenges, much bigger tests. How do you know? Each person, Hashem is testing on their level what they can handle. So for what you might be a small challenge, and therefore you look at your friend and say, that's like nothing. For that person, based on where they're holding in life, that might be something massive, as he's going to explain.
Well, what I'm thinking is, if let's say you're not up to that level, couldn't you be blamed for not getting to that level?
Okay, that's another value. That's a very good point. We're going to have to see that as we go along. Meaning, what happens if I freeze myself in a certain level because that's where I'm comfortable?
Well, not even that. I just don't bother to elevate yourself.
Right, I'm saying, life is good. I'm good the way that it is. I'm not going to go back. I don't think I'm going to go back anyway, but I don't want to push myself so much. I'm not interested in working so hard to get there. So is a person going to be penalized, so to speak, as a result of not making the effort to become a greater person? That's a great question. We'll see. Now, a person who's a very spiritual individual, who worked very hard all of his life in the subtleties of character traits and refining himself and the like. It's possible that even in a very subtle test that he is placed in, he could end up stumbling significantly as a result of that level that he's on. Meaning, you have a person, let's say for example, he was a lazy individual. And he worked 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 to remove the laziness out of his system. And then he gets into a situation one day where all the seeds of laziness that have been in him for 100 years, whatever it is, they start coming back. And he has a choice right now. Should he go and do this particular thing, or should he just take the easier route and just stay lazy where he is? And really on his level, because he worked so hard, he should make the right decision and not be lazy and go and do the whatever mitzvah, whatever task is in front of him. But he makes the wrong choice and he stays in a mode of laziness. So in his world of spiritual refinement, the failure of that test is exponentially greater than perhaps than a person that has some, what we would call some very silly thing. The guy who is walking into the store and he sees a candy bar that he wants and he's not in the mood to pay today. So he walks over and he grabs the candy bar and he puts it in his pocket, he walks out and he just shoplifted. So this person is not such a great person to begin with. This person has stolen a lot of other things in his life. So in the larger scheme of things, between breaking into the house and stealing gold and diamonds and stealing the candy bar in the store, what's the big deal? If I can steal gold and diamonds, I can steal a candy bar as well. So the person who just had a momentary lapse of being lazy, that's massive in his world of spiritual refinement. The guy that stole the candy bar, we don't expect much else from the guy. Now, mishikach, therefore, to try to equate to or compare people to each other is a big mistake. The only way that you can truly judge a person for their accomplishments is based upon understanding the individual potential that particular person has in their life. I can only be judged on myself based upon the potential that I have in myself. I will not and I should not be compared to somebody else that is around me. Okay, I have to stop over here today. We'll continue on Wednesday.